Well, we're going to talk about the Hinterlands removals. Hinterlands was actually a interesting transition because the second edition is so good. I mean, if you watch the expansion reviews, I think I rated it like the third best expansion overall. And so the second edition really made a big difference, particularly inclusive of the card trail. In any case, these are a bunch of cards that you shouldn't be playing with. I mean, I put this line on these, and I mean it. I really do. You shouldn't be playing with these. For example, one of the cards you shouldn't be playing with is Duchess. Duchess was bad. It's a terminal silver. Like you're not gonna do a whole lot with the terminal silver. It has this bottom part that I think was supposed to be like the highlight in games using this. When you gain Duchy, you may gain a Duchess, but the thing is, like, Duchess is so bad that in games using this, when you gained a Duchy, you actually didn't gain a Duchess, and so that didn't actually, like, do what it was supposed to do. But it's because it was bad. That's about all there is to it. Oracle. Oracle's slow. Each other player is revealing cards, and like this is a draw card, so potentially you're going to be playing a lot of them. You have to be like choosing whether to put stuff back yourself, choosing whether they put stuff back. You have to reorder them, they have to reorder them. Like this is disgusting. Like there's just so much stuff to do for each Oracle play that it's just not really worth having. It was an okay card with like Peasant. It was cool to put your plus action token on it, but it was still slow then, and you played a lot of them, and it still just sucked life out of games. I don't know if there's really a direct replacement for Oracle. I mean, why would you want a direct replacement for something that's just super slow? Noble Brigand. I guess the premise of this is like you have something that when you gain it, you do an attack thing. The thing is like it was weak. It was a slight improvement over the thing that it looks a lot like in base set, which is Thief, that it wouldn't trash their coppers, but you still trash revealed silver or gold, and that's not actually the most amazing thing ever to do. It also just has this like total wall of text, and like this bottom part when you buy this do its attack is not a great thing to say on a card. In any case, it's gone. Its most direct replacement is actually Berserker, which doesn't look a whole lot like Noble Brigand, but like, it still has the premise of when you gain this, do an attack. There are a whole bunch of versions of Berserker that were, also trashing attacks like Noble Brigand is, but eventually it ended up being this discard attack that some people, well, a lot of people hate, and I'm okay with. Nomad Camp. It's weak. +2 coins, +1 buy. This is gained onto your deck instead of your discard pile. The reason I say unintended is because this thing that's on the bottom, this is gained onto your deck instead of your discard pile, is actually usually a bad thing. You don't actually want to be like buying this card and having it go on top of your deck. It's a stop card. It's bad. And so, it was replaced by Nomads, which is also +1 buy and +2 coins, but has a much more exciting gain and then also on trash effect where you get an additional 2 coins. So that really does what it's supposed to do. Nomads isn't the strongest thing ever. It still says +1 buy and +2 coins, but it manages to be exciting instead of something that isn't something that you actually really want to have. Silk Road. Silk Road is weak. Silk Road mostly could get used in rushes, which are definitely not the most exciting Dominion games ever. And so certainly maybe it's a little good to get rid of one of these rushes, whether it's Ironworks or Groom. That's not the real reason. The real reason is that Silk Road just sucked. There's, the comparable card is Gardens, like in the base set, where it's worth 1 for every 10 cards you have, like any cards. Silk Road, Gardens you could build up by like doing good things. Silk Road you have to build up by getting lots and lots of victory cards, and so the decks where Silk Road looked good are not particularly amazing. It got most directly replaced actually a little bit later by Marchland, which was a promo, or is a promo still. that says worth 1 for every 3 victory cards. It costs a little bit more. It has some exciting bottom text. You know, altogether better than Silk Road, which was not good. Cash. 5, costs 5, gives 3 coins. When you gain this, gain 2 coppers. You don't want 2 coppers. Sometimes it was like okay with Trader. You could react to the 2 coppers and gain silvers, maybe Watchtower, you get rid of them, but ultimately, like, in most decks, even if you could do these cool things, you actually didn't really still want to do them, because putting a bunch of treasures into your deck, like, spending 5 on a gold is not actually a great thing. Oftentimes you're spending 6 on not gold, and so why would you spend 5 on gold either? Cash sucked. I guess maybe the most direct replacement is like Cauldron. That's a treasure that, you know, does some stuff with junk. Yeah, Cauldron. We'll call that the replacement. Embassy. Embassy is fine, like strength-wise. Plus 5 cards, discard 3 cards. I mean, it wasn't the most exciting thing ever. It's a plus 2 cards, with a lot of work to do to get there. I think the bigger problem with Embassy is in multiplayer. When you gain this, each other player gains a silver. And what can happen in multiplayer with that is that Embassy is kind of a okay-ish money card, where like you could buy Embassy, and this amount of plus 5 and filtering would like get you to be able to be buying Province okay-ishly often in 2-player games. As you got to multiplayer games, this each other player gains a silver means that in addition to having this okay-ish money card in their deck, they're also getting like these free silvers, which accelerates them. And so in multiplayer games, you could really get it to where Embassy money was the thing you were doing because it was so dang fast. It got replaced maybe most directly with Witch's Hut, which is plus 4 cards, discard 2 cards, and then, you know, rather than each other player gaining a silver, they're gaining a curse instead, which is so much cooler. You know, giving your opponent curses is more amazing than giving them silvers. So, you know, got replaced with something that's better and less problematic in multiplayer. And then Illgotten Gains. You know, Illgotten Gains, bad play patterns. The thing with Illgotten Gains is, like, it wasn't the strongest deck ever to build, but what you could do, particularly in 2-player games, is like you would have the Ig Rush. You would have where, you know, players would just buy Illgotten Gains till the curses were gone. You know, Illgotten Gains is gone, curse is gone, and then something else gets gone, usually Duchy, as they'll just like gain coppers to their hands to make sure that they rush down that 3rd pile. And so this is not the most exciting game ever, and so, you know, it gets replaced again probably most directly with Cauldron, which is a treasure that curses on gain, except it's gaining other things than Cauldron, and the things that you gain are actions, and so they do cool things in your deck. And then lastly, we have Mandarin. I don't have any memories of this card. It's so weak. At one point it had a combo with Capital that I guess it probably still exists, because you don't discard the capitals, but, you know, plus 3 coins, put a card from your hand onto your deck is just not a good card. You don't want to be spending 5 on a gold. We talked about with cash. You certainly don't want to be spending 5 on a terminal gold with Mandarin. And then this on gain where you put all the treasure you have in play back onto your deck in any order is actually like kind of a drawback, because again, like, you're putting stop cards back onto your deck. And so, even if you're trying to buy this, like, because you want coins that come from actions, you have to put all of these treasures that if you want coins that come from actions and you're putting all your treasures back, you actually don't really want treasures, and you definitely don't want them in your next hand. So Mandarin was bad. The rest of the cards were bad. They're all bad. They're gone. We're happy about that. Let's move on.